Emergency operations centers in our area were inundated by phone calls. That includes in Burke County, where emergency managers say they took more than 4,200 calls for help the weekend Helene hit. As it all unfolded, emergency managers kept me up to date in real time with some of our first visuals from the storm.
I remember talking with you, and I remember the 911 calls that were flowing in around the time we were talking.
Around 3 a.m. on September 27th, by text and by phone, Burke County's Assistant Director of Emergency Communications, Chris White, shared updates by the minute.
It was so hectic there at first, trying to manage calls that were going through the EOC that were coming into the 911 center.
At the same time, White was getting pictures and learning that Helene's relentless wind and rain was taking aim at his own family.
I was receiving messages and phone calls from my family who were along the river just east of Lake James along the powerhouse. And at that point, homes had started to go underwater, become flooded.
Because of ongoing response and cell service, it would be days before White saw the full extent of the damage done to his family's homestead along the Catawba River.
Once one home went, the next home hit the next home, and it was kind of like a domino effect.
And while Helene took so much from so many, the Whites were determined to take recovery a day at a time.
6 months ago, we didn't know where we would be right now, looking into the springtime for sure, from an emergency operations standpoint, all the way up to just my family standpoint.
And while there are still many unknowns, some of White's family have been able to make progress in the effort to rebuild. So at 6:30, he's walking us through where we are today and what's next.